Pasta, specifically lobster pasta. A few of my friends kept hovering the idea of a lobster mac and cheese, so I caved in. Here are 2 lobster pasta recipes, a savory tomato sauce, and a rich mac and cheese. Same lobster, 2 different pastas. So let's kick it off. Let's start with the lobster. I froze this lobster a little too long. The way to humanely kill a lobster is by finding this cross on the top of its shell and piercing with a knife and cutting through. I guess the crusher claw fell off. I separated the lobster tail from the lobster body. That's the lobster pinch. Add these to a pot of boiling water, and these turn bright red. Here's the crusher, the tail, the pincher, and the body. This is a cooked pincher. Take the parts out of the pot, and with the lobster tail, just squeeze both sides of the tail and it'll crack the lobster tail open. Next, the pinch. Use a cracker or the back of a knife to crack open the shell, and that's the lobster pincher. Last, the lobster crusher. Same thing with the knife, crack it open. Then, take the lobster meat and chop it up into small chunks. And I'm separating the lobster meat into a few portions. And that's the lobster prepared. Mac and cheese. Alright, so mac and cheese. I have a block of Monterey Jack and a block of cheddar, shredding on a grater. And that's all the cheese I have. I set that aside, and in a bowl add some parsley, some garlic powder, and some breadcrumbs. You'll see how we use this later. For the mac and cheese, we'll start with the roux, so start with butter, and when it's melted, an equal part of flour. Mix this together so that it becomes a paste, and then add some heavy cream. Once the cream heats up, add some of the cheese and whisk together. I'm adding some paprika and whisking more. Add some lobster meat and whisk again, and when it's cooked, add some cooked pasta shells. So you could end there, but I think mac and cheese needs some texture, so I have a tray. Pour the mac and cheese into the tray, then add in the breadcrumb mix from earlier. Oh yeah, I toasted this, make sure you do that. Spread the mix on the mac and cheese, and then put it in the oven for a few minutes, broiling it. Once the mac and cheese is done, scoop it into a bowl and serve. And that is your lobster mac and cheese. So next, a lobster tomato spaghetti. You're going to start with the lemon, cutting into quarters and saving 1 for cooking. Then, 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, crushing the cloves, peeling them, and then mincing them. Lastly, savoring with 1/4 of an onion, dicing it through. Plucking some fresh parsley, stems removed. Bunching them up, and finally chopping them through. Here's a can of crushed tomatoes, opened up to save for later. In a pan, go some butter and olive oil, and when the butter melts, add the onion. Salt and pepper, and when the onion gets fragrant, add the garlic. Once the garlic gets fragrant, add the white wine. Soon, add some tomato, serve by pepper flakes, and let the sauce cook. Squeeze a bit of lemon, and when it bubbles, add some parsley. I added a bit of butter, and after mixing, the lobster meat goes in. After the lobster is well incorporated, add the spaghetti and mix together with some tongs. To plate, scoop some into a ladle, and you know what, forget that. I'm just going to make a mountain and adding some lobster meat on top. And that is the lobster tomato spaghetti. So, lobster pasta is great. And although you definitely lose out on the lobster portion because of how much lobster is, you get a lot of texture and flavor. The tomato pasta is chunky and spicy, the mac and cheese is savory and rich. Maybe I can charge $18 for half the amount if I had a food truck. Before you eat mac and cheese, make sure you take a lactate pill.